Hi, welcome.
Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome. We'll just wait a few more moments for people to join the room. Just wanted to welcome you, first of all, to the Careers and HE department. So just bear with us a few more seconds and we'll start then. Okay, I think we'll make a start. So welcome everyone. Welcome to Cardiff Sixth Form College's Open Day, and welcome specifically to our Careers and HE department session then this morning. So just to introduce myself, I'm Miss Bendel and I'm the Head of Higher Education, and we're also joined by Dr. Laura Foster, who is our UCAS coordinator here then this morning. So before we go through our presentation to you, I'd like to invite you that if you have any general questions that you may want to ask then today, please do use the chat box, and you can message openly or you can message directly to myself for anything general. But if you do have any kind of personal questions that are quite specific to your individual needs and aspirations, I invite you to send us an email, and our email addresses will be available later on in the PowerPoint. Okay, so great, we'll make a start. So, just 2 seconds. Here we go. So here is the Cardiff Sixth Form College Careers team. So as I've mentioned, I'm Miss Bendel and I am the Head of Higher Education. And we also have Dr. Laura Foster, who joins us today, in addition to our third colleague, who is Mr. Dale Sage, and he is our Work Observation Coordinator. So I'm just going to take us through each individual now, just so you have a feel for who we are and what we can offer you. So my specialty is supporting students applying to overseas universities. So if you're someone thinking of maybe applying to America, Canada, Australia, Hong Kong, Europe, Singapore, Thailand, anywhere around the world, then I'll be here to help support you from the very first day. In addition to obviously supporting as well any UK applications. I am a registered member of the UK Registered Careers Development Professional with CDI, which means I am a registered careers consultant, in addition to being a member of the International Association of College Admissions Counselling. So what that essentially means is that I'm one of 3,000 counsellors and admission staff who all work together and network to get the best relationships with top universities worldwide to only help you get into the universities that you really want to get into. I'm now going to hand over to Dr. Laura Foster, who is going to introduce you to herself and then the next few slides.
Thank you very much. So as Miss Bendel said, I am the UCAS coordinator here at Cardiff Sixth Form College. And whilst Miss Bendel specialises in supporting students applying to international universities, my speciality is in supporting students who are applying to UK universities. So what that means is that I support students applying to the UK through the entire application process. So that includes support with personal statements, support for Oxbridge interviews or medicine interviews, speaking to you in careers counselling sessions and more. So anyone who is applying to the UK will be working closely with me throughout your time at Cardiff Sixth Form College. We also have Mr. Dale Sage, who is the Work Observation Coordinator, who works closely with us as part of the Careers Department. So his speciality is in facilitating work observation and volunteering opportunities for students. So he will be a really big part of your time at Cardiff Sixth Form College, helping you to source really valuable work experiences to strengthen your applications to universities and helping you to develop your employability skills for your future career as well. So as part of the Careers Department, we seek to put on a number of opportunities for you. And we're also constantly looking to update our own knowledge so that we can provide you with the absolute most up-to-date advice that we possibly can. So I just want to take you briefly then through some of the things that we do at Cardiff Sixth Form College. So if you have a look at the picture on the left of the screen, that's Miss Bendel on one of her recent visits to universities in Hong Kong. She's also been to visit universities in Canada, and will be making visits to Australian universities and US universities in the near future as well. So what that enables us to do as a department is to build a close relationship with the university admissions team, to really network with the universities to ensure that we've got the absolute best possible guidance that we can offer you upon your university applications. In order to help you develop an understanding of the subject that you're applying to and explore that more broadly, we also organise a number of careers-related trips for students to partake in. So these trips might include, for example, visits to university open days. They might be to universities hosting subject-specific masterclasses. They might be laboratory tours, or it might be visiting engineering manufacturers. So we really seek to offer a whole host of relevant trips, which are specifically related to the discipline that you are applying for. One thing that we seek to organise every year is a visit to the UCAS University exhibition. This is a really key event for students that they find very valuable and get a lot out of. In a nutshell then, all of the UK universities are all together under one roof, and it's a really good opportunity for students to network directly with universities that they know they're interested in applying to and find out more information and ask questions, but also perhaps discover new universities that perhaps they hadn't thought about before. So, as I just mentioned, we seek to take you directly to the universities, whether that be on open days or whether that be through university exhibitions. But we also seek to bring the universities to you as well. So throughout the term, we have regular guest speakers, both from universities and from employers as well. And over the past few years, we've had a whole range of speakers, both from the UK and international students, visitors, to put on special bespoke talks just for our students. So in the coming weeks then, for example, we will have speakers from Canada and Hong Kong speaking to students interested in applying to those particular universities. We'll also be having a session from universities such as King's College London, Imperial and UCL, who'll be holding virtual talks specifically for our CSFC students. I just briefly want to outline another company that we work very closely with and who our students have the opportunity to benefit greatly from. And that's Oxbridge Applications. So throughout the year, Oxbridge Applications put on numerous workshops and one-to-one sessions for our students. These range from personal statement preparation days, one-to-one mock interviews, subject-specific workshops, and admissions test preparation. So these are a really valuable resource for our students who are looking to apply to the top universities in the UK, where it is incredibly important that students work towards both an admissions test and potentially an interview as well. So our main aim in the careers department is to help you to think about your future and what it is that you are aiming for, and what will be, the best possible fit career for you in the future. So we are here to help you make sure that you've chosen the right subject combinations, which will facilitate your applications to the specific degree course of your choice. So from the moment that you arrive at the college, then we are on hand to help make sure that you have selected the correct A-level choices, and that you will be on track to meet all the required entry profiles needed by the particular universities that you're interested in. If you have any questions about your subject choices, if you're concerned that you may not be taking the correct emails, then I invite you to email me and run your subject choices past me, and I would be very happy to advise on that.
Great, thank you, Dr. Foster. So I'm just going to quickly run through to you today our Careers in HE programme that we have on offer here for Cardiff Sixth Form College students. So during the 2 years that you're with us for A-level, or if you're thinking of also joining us for GCSE, you'll be enrolled into a careers and university preparation programme where you will have multiple opportunities to have career exploration, where you can have research and do research about your 16 plus and 18 plus decision making and any application support you may need for universities or other options. In addition to a focus on your employability skills training, realising that our role isn't necessarily to only get you into university, but prepare you for a very successful future as a professional. So you'll have a number of one-to-one meetings with a careers advisor and or university counsellor as well, alongside your head of house in their pastoral role as well. So here are some other opportunities where you can gain individualised and group support depending on your individual aspirations and needs. So you'll see us in live meetings. So for example, in assemblies, we'll be speaking to all students at the same time with any key messages. We also do pre-recorded webinars throughout the year as well. So these videos will be recorded and placed onto our internal Google Classroom that you'll be able to watch in your free periods. We also have online forums and discussions to keep the dialogue as well between these live and pre-recorded videos. You'll also have access to a website. So if you're a GCSE student, you'll be given access to Moresby. And if you are an A-level student with us, you'll have access to Bridge U. And these are really, really excellent sources of information and advice for you in terms of university and careers exploration. As I've mentioned, you will have one-to-one meetings with us, at least one per key stage, so at least one in GCSE and one in Year 12 and 13. But we have a really open door policy and we encourage students to just pop by with any questions that they have at any time, just to make sure that you are fully supported in helping you to make your decisions. And on top of that, again, you'll also see us as part of your PSE lessons. So your heads of house will have you each week for PSE, and during a certain point in the spring term, there is a large careers focus. So there'll be a few weeks then successfully with careers and university in mind. Something which is also really exciting for you then you can take part in, you may have heard of the Create portfolio from previous sessions this morning, which is our award-winning pastoral award. And as part of that, there is an entire stream dedicated to university and careers preparation as part of Thrive. So you have the opportunity to gain a separate award which demonstrates and evidences all that you've been doing to get your careers and university preparation underway. So I'll talk more about this, of course, when you do enroll with us next year, but you have the opportunity to work towards a bronze, a silver, a gold or a platinum award, which can really show universities as well as employers about all the skills that you have developed. Dr. Foster.
Thank you very much. So we really encourage you to think ambitiously and broadly about the opportunities that are open to you. So many of you will be coming to us with the aspiration in mind that you would like to apply to some of the top universities in the UK. And we will absolutely support you 100% with that. But we would also encourage you to think a little bit more widely as well. It may be, for example, that the perfect degree programme for you is not actually in the UK at all. It may be that the most exciting opportunities available to you personally are actually situated in a different country, which you may never have thought about before. So we are really proud of the fact that our students at CSFC are very internationally and globally minded. So that is very much reflected in the university destinations that our students go on to as well. We've had students go on to study in the United States, in Canada, in numerous European countries, in Thailand, in Japan, in Australia. There really is an incredibly broad and diverse number of universities globally that our students apply to. And the number of those universities is growing every year. So wherever it is in the world that you would like to apply to, we can absolutely support you with that every step of the way. Miss Bendel, looks to reach out to those universities that you're thinking of directly and build relationships with them. So really, if there's anywhere in the world that you are potentially considering, we very much invite you to get in touch with us, and we'll seek to find out as much information as we possibly can to support you all the way through that process. So for the few minutes that we have left then, we invite you to type into the chat box any questions that you may have. If there's anything particularly personal to your particular application or your grade profile, I would suggest that you drop us an email in that case.
Yeah, great. Thank you so much, Dr. Foster. So we have 2 minutes before the admissions talk begins. So I want to make sure that you do have plenty of time to join that. We do have one question which has come through, which is, will students be provided to join the internship programme to gain relevant working experience in their preferred career, e.g. working in a hospital for studying medicine? I think the answer to that for me is yes, exactly. No, we both agree here. So what I would suggest to anyone who is thinking about the work experience or work observation opportunities that we can offer, you see on our page here, we have the contact detail for Mr. Sage. Now, he is our specialist in seeking appropriate experiences for students, depending on what they may need to achieve. So if they're looking into medicine, for example, and they've already had plentiful opportunities of working in hospitals, then UK medical schools may actually want to see students have experience of more of a care-based scenario. So we look into students going into placements in care homes, hospices, working with students, etc., in schools, for example. So I encourage you, for any specific questions such as that, to speak to Mr. Sage on the email address shown there on that page. And then we have one more question, I think, here before we finish for today. If you do have anything personal, please feel free to email us directly. Dr. Foster, is it better to do 3 rather than 4 subjects for medicine?
So the way that the A-level system typically works in Wales is that you start off by taking 4 AS levels. That is considered the norm. And then for a 2 level, you can decide whether you want to keep up with those 4 subjects or whether you would like to go down to 3 subjects. And that decision is going to be a fairly personal one. It will depend upon how interesting you find that 4th subject. It will certainly depend upon the predicted grades that you're likely to achieve in all of them. So at the end of the AS year, if anyone is thinking about potentially dropping one of their A2 levels to go down to 3, we will have a chat with that student and work out what the best possible scenario is for them. So it really depends on the individual circumstances of the student and where they're looking to apply.
Absolutely. And it's for this reason we invite students at any time to come and speak to us individually, because we understand that students from not even just around different areas of Wales, but, you know, the entire world have different backgrounds, educationally, personally, professionally. So we really are a department that really wants to individually deal with the students on a, kind of a student-centered and holistic level, and making sure that you have the tailored support for you. I'm conscious of the time, and I really don't want you to miss the admissions talk, which is just starting. We do have some questions I've noticed there which have come through. Can I please invite you to email us any specific questions? There was one about 6 GCSEs and another about veterinary science. Please, if you can, email us those ones and we'll make sure to get back to you. Okay, well, thank you so much for joining us this morning. I hope you've had a really enjoyable open day and have learned loads about Cardiff Sixth Form College. I hope you enjoy the admissions talk, and it's been a pleasure to speak to you, and hopefully we'll see you all in September. Okay, thank you very much. Goodbye.
Bye.